Next one.
Oh, you know that it's me to pick this time.
Yes.
Wow. This one's a bit of a chunky one.
Ooh. Is it my favourite one?
It's your favourite one. Okay, this one is
This is my number one fave. We've already had my number two fave, but this is my number one fave.
It's her number one fave. Be my biggest critic, but also my biggest fan. We got some points under here. So be my cheerleader, but also my coach. Criticize me when needed. Don't make everything pretty and a bed of roses. Knowing when to do that, outside versus inside. Pull me up when needed. And we as females need to accept this and not attack our partners. Sophia J, obviously this is your favourite, so I'm going to let you run with this one.
I absolutely love this one. Being my biggest critic, but also my biggest fan. I remember speaking about this. Jules came up with a fantastic analogy. Be my coach, but also my cheerleader. I absolutely love that. Anyway, I just believe that if I'm doing something wrong, maybe not quite right, then my partner should tell me, and vice versa. If I feel that my partner is not doing something right, I'm not talking about the way that he cooks the rice or the way that he, the way that he leaves his towel on the bed. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about the real nitty-gritty of life. If there's something to put me up on, then pull me up on it, and I'll do the same for my partner.
Definitely.
I just really feel that do not make this a bed of roses, because if we paper over cracks in the beginning stage of a relationship, or the beginning first 5 to 10 years, how are we ever going to reach to 15 and 20 years? Because when we then get to 15 and 20 years, that's when all the cracks start appearing. So pull me up when it's needed. Really be my biggest critic, but also my biggest fan, because if you don't tell me what's going wrong, don't leave it to people outside of our homes to tell me what's going wrong. You should be the person to tell me when I'm going wrong, or if something's going wrong. I'll do the exact same thing to my partner. However, you must know when to do that. So there's inside the home versus outside the home. So you could be out about your partner at a function or whatever, out for dinner, whatever it may be, and something comes up into your head that you thought, oh, I forgot to mention that, or you've seen him or her do something that you didn't like. That might not be the best time to tell your partner. It may be better that you wait till you get home. So that's the situation where you see what's happening, you hear what's been said, and you wait till you get home to say, well, actually, when you did this, I didn't really like it, or have you thought about doing it this way, or whatever the case may be. But I just feel that it's important to be someone's cheerleader and their coach, also to know when to do it. So that's inside versus outside. I think it is so important, because I thought it builds the two of you, not just as individuals, but as a partnership as well. If you go along thinking that you're doing everything fantastic and you're not, I'd rather be told that I'm not doing something quite right, and so I can address it and we can move on.
So it's very, very important, because you don't want to go out there and someone tell you, oh, you've done that wrong, and then your partner's looking at you sideways like to say, I knew that you did that wrong, but
that's not
I couldn't tell you. It's really embarrassing, very, very embarrassing. So I think it's very important that I can be with someone that knows that, actually, Jules, that's not quite right. You ain't done that right. And sit there and I'll happily accept it and say, okay, what have I done wrong? How should I do it? And they can break it down to me, like, actually, you should have done it this way, and I can take it on board. And same way, be my biggest fan. Support me in what I do. So you see that I've got this business venture that I want to kind of build up, and it's been successful. You'll be happy to promote whatever I do out there. Say it's like, a hair and beauty thing. Not that I'm a hair and beauty kind of person, but if my partner can see that and see that I'm trying my hardest, he will be the person that is handing out flyers everywhere, saying, come to this hairdresser, she's this, she does makeup, promoting it on whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be any social kind of media platform. He is there, number one, in the front row, chanting my name.
Can I just touch on something you said in terms of we as females especially to know how to accept the criticism? not criticism, but the comments that our partner would make to us. I remember one time I went out for dinner with my partner, and it was a restaurant where you walk in on the ground floor and you have to go. It was Gaucho in the O2, and you walk on the ground floor. You walk in on the ground floor and you go up a lift. I don't know why, but for some reason I lost all my manners. I'm a very, very polite and respectful person, but that evening I lost all my manners. And we approached the lift, and there was a big group of people coming out the lift, maybe, I don't know, 12 to 15 people coming out of the lift. And about 8 of them come out. I'm getting fed up now. I've got my nice dress. I just want to go and eat my dinner, you know. And before the last 4 people came out of the lift, I pushed through. Now,
oh my God, I knew you were going to say that.
When the people eventually got out the lift, there was one female who she wasn't swearing, but she was cussing, as in like she was saying, "Ain't you got no manners?" and blah 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 blah. And I don't know what I said back, but I said something back rude. And when I'm looking back at this situation, I know that I was wrong. And when we got to our table, my partner said to me, he said, "You know what you did down there was rude, and you didn't have any manners." And I found it hard to accept what he was saying, even though I knew I was wrong. So I think it's really important that we accept the criticism, because even then, I felt, even now thinking about it, I was wrong. I was really, really wrong. I had no manners.
No, you were wrong.
I lost my manners temporarily, but they soon came back. If I could have gone back and apologised to the girl, I would have.
Was it because you were hungry?
Maybe I was hungry.
Never anger someone when they're hungry.
And I had my cocktail, I knew what cocktail I was having.
God.
I wanted to get, and they're taking long. Big group, come out the lift. Why are you taking long? Come out the lift, let me get inside.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I found it really hard to accept that I had lost my manners. I'm thinking back to it now.
Rant over.
So yeah, so know how to accept it.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
It really is.
Only, is that 4 in there? Is that 3 or 4?
4.
4 more left.
Okay, you go.
So, we're sitting here talking about our expectations in a partner, but what we also expect from our partner is for him, because we are attracted to men, but it may be a her, or it may be, you know, so and so, or it could really be him or her. But we expect our partner to manage their expectations. So the question is, from me to my partner is, I'm managing my expectations, but are you managing yours? So we're being realistic, but are you being realistic? Kick that one off.
I'm going to be short and sweet. I think this list is realistic in my eyes. Claire, you know, if you're expecting a figure 8 kind of female with the brains of Albert Einstein and, you know, long straight hair, that to me is not a realistic list. I honestly think you need to relook at your list again and think, you know, what should I add on there? That is,
or what should I take off?
Or what should I take off? Exactly. For us, this list is realistic. We're not expecting, you know, we're not saying we want some guy with some muscular muscles and some tattoos on him, and, you know, he's got to have CEO, you know, on there. No, we're not looking at materialistic things. We're looking at more of the things that we are naturally born with, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can you manage, if you can manage your expectations and you think they're realistic, then great. And we also think that other is realistic. So that's what I honestly think.
Yeah, I fully endorse our list. I don't feel that anything on there is unrealistic. And the reason why we feel that is because we can fulfill all these expectations we've just spoken about. But we'll come back to that at the end when we talk about, when I ask you a few questions, we'll come back to that. But I just feel that some people are not managing their own expectations. So they're wanting this, and they're normally very aesthetic expectations, or they may be so high, but they're not even thinking, well, I want that, but am I doing it myself? So I just feel that everyone needs to manage their own expectations.
I'm just laughing at the fact that it's so funny that you want this person that is like, you know, a CEO, whatever, but you're being a bum at home. What sense does that make? It's like, really? Really though?
Exactly.
Like, honestly, be realistic.
Be realistic. But set standards. So have your expectations, but don't have them too high. But also do have a minimum of what you're willing to accept, because I feel that in this world you just have to have some kind of standards, otherwise you're just going to settle for nonsense.
It's true.
So just be realistic in a general sense. Just be really sit down and think. You might want to go and do your own list following on this video. When you're doing your list, just think, right, I'm writing down my expectations, but am I managing my expectations? That's just what I would look for in my partner. And I feel that in my past relationships, I feel they have managed expectations. I feel like, yeah.
You have or they have?
I feel we both have.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any comments on that or any experiences to talk about on that.
Okay. So we've got 3 more. So it's my turn. This one is now.
Well, let me just try that. I think you've got to see.
Yeah, I have. So I don't think I want to pick it. So. Ooh.
You love this one, don't you?
I sure do.
I'll let you talk about this one.
Communication. Some people are afraid to talk to their partners because they are afraid of what their partner might say. Be honest, be comfortable, and no filter. Communication, very important. It's like, even at work, they always say you've got to communicate. So why would it be a problem to communicate with your partner? I think it's very, very important. Do not be afraid of what you have to say to your partner. I feel like you release an energy or release a good energy once you communicate how you feel to someone. It just comes out of you, like to say, okay, it's out there, let's discuss. That gives you an opportunity to open a discussion of how you feel, both of you how you feel. So it's very, very important to communicate and be comfortable with your partner. Comfortability is very, very important. I think if you're not comfortable with yourself, you find it difficult to allow people to be comfortable with you. And it's also kind of, what's the word for it? Knowing who you are. If you know who you are, then people will happily accept who you are. So it's very, very important. Like, communicate. It could be the biggest thing, the smallest issue. Communicate that. And after that it's been done, it's either you let it go or you allow yourselves to resolve the issue at hand. You cannot resolve anything if you don't speak about it, if you don't communicate with your partner, and vice versa as well. So I think it's very, very important to talk, and do not be afraid. Now, we're not expecting, it's not like you say to your partner, babe, I don't like the way your breath smelled this morning. No, it's morning. We all have morning breath. You know, we all deal with that. That's just a bit mean. What we're saying is just that, you know, actually, when you get to a stage where you're comfortable to say that, it might be all banter, it might be all jokes.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Me and Jay doesn't agree with me. But I think it's just knowing what to say and not be afraid of saying it to them. It's very, very important. Like, in my previous relationship, I'm going to kind of focus on my previous relationship or my previous relationships. You know, we've always, like, I've struggled to communicate with him because it's like I have all these things in my head that I'm upset about, and when I get to face him, I'm like, I don't know what I was angry about. I don't know why.
You do that all the time though, actually.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, it's like, I will say it and then it's like they have a reason, but to me the reason is still not valid, but I accept it. But that's not good enough. It's just explaining to that person, that say, look, what you did has really upset me, or, you know, I don't like the way you've done that, or, you know, knowing.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's hard. It is hard to communicate when you're really hurting or something's really affecting you, because like you just said, when you get into that person's physical presence, you just look at them and they smile. You just forget everything that was in your head.
God, he was a smiler.
I thing I was gonna leave this one to Jules. I was gonna add one tiny little thing: is know your method of communication. Know what you're good at.
Yeah.
So you might be a good speaker. You might be a good speaker face to face, or you might prefer to sit down and write a letter. You know, go into a corner, have your candle, have your drink, have your pen, your paper, and write your 4-page letter. That may be your thing, or a combination of both. So just know your method.
I think probably that's my best method: writing a 4-page letter and sending it off. That always works.
I've kept my 4-page letters.
I always do copies.
Yeah.
So I can just read and kind of cringe at myself, like, oh my god, did I really write that?
I might have a look at mine tonight.
Go for that memory
old
box.
time's sake.
Yeah. So yeah, should we pick the next one?
Sorry if we kind of like just go off topic sometimes.
Yeah. Memories, eh?
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh. I know.
I thought you were looking at that. Jules, pick one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Compromise. Don't be selfish. Think of your partner and the bigger picture. Now, I think, can I start this one?
Of course. Go ahead.
I think that failure to compromise is the biggest or one of the biggest destructions of a relationship. I think a lot of people get so wrapped up in themselves, what they want, what they feel that they need, what they feel that should happen, that they forget about the other person in their relationship, or could even be in their friendship or in their family. I just feel a lot of, like, we're busy people, we just get so caught up in ourselves and forget about the other person. In a relationship context, compromise is so important. You're working together as a team, as a partnership. You have to compromise. There are going to be times when one person wants to do something but the other person doesn't, or one person wants something in the relationship and the other person doesn't really want that thing. My thing in my previous relationship was family. I come from a really big family and he didn't, for whatever reasons, and he struggled to understand that I came from a really big family, and struggled to understand when I spent so much time with my family, or when I'd invite him to come around my family. He struggled to understand that, and he just steered clear. So he didn't want to compromise, and it was a really, really, really big issue that really, really played on my heart, and was one of the reasons why we're not together anymore. It's not the only reason, but one of the reasons why we're not together anymore. So I think that compromise is so important. Don't be selfish. Think of the both of you, and it's not affecting you now if you compromise. It could affect you in weeks or months or years to come. Think of the bigger picture. Don't just think of now and yourself. That's what I'd say.
I agree. I think you pretty much said everything I would say. Just compromise. It's important. Meet in the middle.
Yeah.
If you find it difficult to go to the far spectrum of what that person is saying, meet in the middle.
Meet in the middle. Or maybe 3/4. Just give and take, give and take. There might be a time when you do what they want, but then the next time they might do what you want. Whatever it is, it could be something as simple as what restaurant do you go to, or do you even go out? Something as simple as that, or it could be where you're going to live, what church you're going to go to, how you can discipline your children. Just compromise and really, really talk about whatever it is you're compromising over.
Definitely. So
the last one.
Pretty much.
I don't think of what it is, but I've been spoken about.
Oh, I know what it is.
Is it a biggie? Is it your fave?
It's both of our faves, I guess.
Hit me with it.
Let me hit you with it. Well. Loyalty, trust, and respect.
How could I forget this one?
How could you forget this one?
You go.
Man always wants his woman to be a ride or die. But will he be the same? Commitment. Defending your partner to others and building a foundation of trust, respect, and loyalty. Okay, I'm going to start with this. The first one. A man. Again, apologies if I'm generalizing, but men always seem to want this ride or die chick. Someone who's there through the nits and grits of everything. But yeah, when a woman is going through something, crickets.
Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
Like a cricket.
Yeah. Cricket. But yeah, nowhere to be seen. Okay, apologies if I'm generalizing again, but I feel that that's been an issue for me. In my previous relationship, I was going through something, and when he was going through whatever he was going through, I was always there. I was the one on the phone saying, babe, don't worry, you'll get through it. And when I was going through something, when we were going through something together, and I wanted him to support, he went there. And I felt like I had to deal with it myself, and it affected me in the sense that I lost something that was very, very important to me, and it affected me because he wasn't there to support. Whatever the situation, whatever decision I made, he went there. He wasn't the ride or die guy. And that's very, very important. Like, just loyalty. Be loyal to your partner. For me, trust and respect is so important. Oh God. Trust is like, once the trust is gone, it's just like, that person, that relationship for me is void. It sounds really sad, but it is. Because it will bring out the inner demons in both of you. Because you're constantly asking the questions of, for example, a great example is cheating. If you find out your partner's cheating but you've given them another chance, it brings up the questions of, he's gone out, what's he doing now? Who's he going with? How long has he gone out for? You start asking these questions and you become this crazy partner, this person that you don't want to be.
The person that isn't you.
Exactly.
You're forced, it's like you're made to be this person.
Exactly. And that was an issue again from a previous relationship. I feel like that relationship was very toxic. I'm glad I came out of that.
So am I.
Because it's one of those things where he gave me the impression that he could have another female, and before it wasn't like that in the beginning. So when he gave me that impression that, oh, I can go out with another female if I wanted to, oh my God, I became the crazy psycho Jules that I am not that person. I'm very laid back, I'm chillax, you do you, go out with your friends, go out if you have a work friend who's a female. I don't have no problem with that, as long as you trust yourself to know that you have a partner at home. But nah, he didn't give me that. After that, I was there questioning, who is this person? Why are you going with that person? Why are you going with that person? Is she really your friend? And that, for me, that was a problem, because again, it affected my emotional state. Because I became this person that I didn't want to be. So I think trust is very, very important. Like, vice versa. Like, I would want my partner to trust me and know that I wouldn't go out and do anything to hurt him, or I wouldn't go out there and do anything from where he would lose his trust in me. And respect is important. It's self-explanatory.
I agree. I can't see a relationship existing without loyalty, trust and respect. And I know in myself, I know me, and I know that I will be the most loyal, the most trustworthy, and the most respectful towards my partner. And I demand, not even ask, no, I expect that back. Because if I'm not having that back, it can't work. How can I be with someone who is not loyal to me, who is not my biggest coach and also my cheerleader, who I know that is there for me 100%? Or how can I be with someone who I don't trust, who I've got to be questioning where he's going, who he's with, and X, Y, Z? And then even respect. These three things are an absolute must.
I was thinking about, oh my gosh, I was thinking about like the whole trust thing. I think it's just I
can't even get started on that one.
It's like you all of a sudden become a detective. You become paranoid. And nah, you can have sleepless nights from paranoia.
I remember, this is a long time ago when I was quite young actually, maybe when I was, 18, 19, I had a relationship, which was a young relationship. And at the beginning, I think we went on a date to like Harvester or something, so I think, little Harvester dinner, blah, blah, blah. And he was saying to me, so what kind of person are you? We got into a conversation of what are you like in relationships. This is during the dating period. And I said, I'm just laid back. And he said, are you the detective kind of person? And I thought, what are you talking about?
What kind of questions is he asking?
But when he explained what he was saying, I was like, no, that's not me. I'm not the kind of person to be searching for your phone, searching for your pockets and blah, blah, blah. That's not, I don't have time for that. That's not me. If I feel that you're not trustworthy, then done. I don't have to go searching pockets to make sure that you are trustworthy. So in that conversation, I was saying, no, that's not me. Then we started seeing each other and into a relationship. And then I had signs that he wasn't trustworthy. And then I became crazy. I became a big detective. CSI detective. I became detective. If I hadn't have had those signs, it would have been fine. That's been normal me.
That's exactly what happens. It's when you have that sign, and sometimes you have that gut feeling.
Gut feeling.
Gut feeling. It's somebody's just telling you something ain't right. And I'm a very observing person. Like, everything you say, I remember. Oh, I do. I remember.
So do I.
Oh God, you can tell me, I went to the chicken shop on Tuesday, and then you can turn around. I can turn around a couple of weeks later. Oh, so a couple of weeks ago, you said you went to the chicken shop. What day did you go again? You said Wednesday.
He said Wednesday.
I'm writing that down in a notebook. I'm gonna ask, did you really go to that chicken shop on the Tuesday or the Wednesday? Which one was it?
But
I'm gonna write it all down. In my head, I'm remembering this stuff. And eventually, I'm going to catch you out.
But you wouldn't be this way if he hadn't given you the signs to be that way.
Exactly.
It's only if you've got the signs. Then you remember in the chicken shop on Tuesday if you've got the signs.
What a great example you for the chicken shop.
I remember everything.
Oh,
and not in a detective way. If I'm sitting down chilling with my partner and he's telling me a story, it goes into my head. I listen.
Yeah.
So, if I have a previous relationship, he used to repeat his stories all the time. I don't know why. Repeat.
Don't you love those repeaters, don't you?
But the good thing is, every time he did the story the exact same way, I let him get to the end. I said, "Can you tell me that already?" But I forgot what point I was trying to make. Never mind.
That's so funny.
I don't know why he would do that. I said to him, "Why do you tell me stories over and over again?"
If that was me, I wouldn't even wait to the stories. I was like, "Okay, I've heard it already."
No, because he gets so engrossed in his story. Like, he wants to tell me, get to the punchline. So excited.
You get really excited with him, like, you kind of repeat that. You know the word that he's gonna say next.
He's like, yes, I do. I will say what he's gonna say. And he's like, how do you know? So you told me this already. But it's a good thing because each time it was the exact same story. It was a chicken shop on Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Monday.
It's good.
But that was that.
So yeah, guys. So we've done 12 of our expectations in a partner. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thea's going to ask me a couple of questions. We're going to ask each other a couple of questions. Just about our list. What we feel about it, So yeah.
My first question to Jules is, have you ever had a relationship and your partner has met all of those? Remember the other 3 that we've got in our list as well? All of those 15 expectations. No, just like that.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying this to the camera right now. No. Because then if that was the case, we wouldn't be in a relationship right now.
Yeah, true. But there might be one. So what about he's ticking most or all, but one isn't the big tick, one's just the little tick?
No.
Okay.
It's a sad situation.
It's very sad.
I'm sitting here as a 26-year-old woman and haven't had a man who has really fulfilled expectations. I'm not expecting them to tick every single one of them, but at least if you can tick at least 50%, and then eventually, as the relationship grows, you kind of see the increasing to 75, then maybe 100, then yeah. But if you're not getting to 50%, that's a problem.
That's an important note, because you need to realise that a man or a female, depending on what you're attracted to, is not going to tick every single box from the get-go. You might not see him compromising, or you might not see, there's certain things that you might not see in the first year or 2, but you will see them as you go on. But you've got to look at it and think, okay, I can't see this now, but could he be that person in so many years? So don't expect him to be ticking every single box now, or in the early stages or the first few years. Just know that some of these things might come, but if you consider they're not going to come, that he's wrote that off one time, then yeah. But my answer to that question is, I've been in a relationship where he met most, he didn't tick all. I wanted him so much to tick all, but he didn't. Which leads me on to my next question. If you're in a relationship and he doesn't tick all, or she doesn't tick all, depending on who you're attracted to, what do you do? Do you end the relationship, or do you drop an expectation?
Depending on the expectations he ticks.
So what would you drop?
Now, like for example, the main important ones are communication, trust, loyalty, and respect. So, being my biggest critic, also my biggest fan. Those for me, if you don't have that, then I would have to let it go. So if that is there, and there's room for those to become, the other expectations to become better, then yeah. But if you're not ticking, because obviously your expectations in your head, well, in my head, they go in an order. So for me, the 4 that I mentioned are very, very important. So those are my top 4 that I know that my partner needs to tick that. If he's not ticking it, then no. I would probably have to end the relationship.
But if he's not ticking all 15, do you end the relationship, or do you drop an expectation?
No, you don't end the relationship. I think, but I don't think you should drop an expectation, because that's basically you settling.
I agree. I don't think you should drop any expectation. Not from me and my list. I'm not dropping any expectation. I cannot talk for your list or your list or your list, but I can talk from my list, and I'm not dropping expectation. If I'm in a relationship and he's not meeting all 15, I wouldn't want to just end it there and then, because there may be a reason why he's not. He might not be used to showing certain things or X, Y, Z. So I would speak to my partner, really, really speak to my partner, and if I feel that they still cannot see things, that sounds a bit selfish, but if they're still not ticking my expectations, and I've thought about how it will be in the long term also, and they're still not, I still can't see them ticking the expectations, then I think you have to end the relationship, because like you said, you're just settling if you accept it. So I think you've got to look at it in the bigger picture. It's not one answer cannot apply for all. You have to think of your own relationship. I think of the bigger picture.
And I've got to mention one of my other ones that's really, really important. It's a God-fearing man. That would be top of my list.
It's hard to sit down, and you can pick your top 5 or your top 4 or 5, but you think, oh, but what about that one?
Yeah. But for me, God-fearing man.
Yeah, definitely. And not a question, but I was reading it wasn't an article, but something I came across on the internet, and it said, how do you know if expectations are too high? And it's quite simple.
I think we've answered this.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah. It's quite simple. If you cannot meet them yourself, then they are simply too high. And we feel, or we know, that we can meet these expectations that we want in a partner. So, yeah, they're not too high for us.
Definitely.
So that's us. That's our 12 expectations. There is a list of 15. All 15 will be in the description box below.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see your comments on our expectations. Anything you've got to say, anything you want to add, anything you feel that we should strike out, which we won't be striking out, but any you feel that maybe aren't so important. We cannot wait to see the comments, can we?
Definitely, can't wait. But guys, if you want us to do another video with the remaining of our expectations, then we will be more than happy to. Again, like our videos, subscribe to our page, and also we have a Twitter page as well. So you can go to our Twitter, it's TheaJ_Jules, and you can tweet us questions, comments, and everything. So we would definitely love to hear from you. We hope you enjoyed our video, and there's plenty more to come.
Yes, there is.
See you guys later. God bless. Bye.
Bye.